As a game developer, there are 3 things that I know: micro-optimizing my keyboard setup, the importance of regular deodorant usage, and staying up late. And when you stay up late, you start to get ideas. Some of these ideas are useful, and some are not. So let me know if you think this is one of those ideas. I started a company for game developers, specifically to help game developers market their games, and it's also currently free. But how did we get to this point? Almost 4 years ago, I started getting into game development. I first started with trying to make a light RPG game in Unity, and quickly learned it was difficult. Then I worked on some smaller projects, and I'm currently working on my first major release, Castlemancer. And what I learned throughout this process is that there are a few challenges in game development. From programming to art to actual game design, building a video game is not easy. With video games existing at an interesting cross-section between technical problem solving and artistic expression, you could call it. And for a lot of these areas, there have been tools and companies that have built products to really help indie game developers like me scale feasibly and build games alone, where previous generations of game developers couldn't. So in the programming domain, there's game engines like Unity and Unreal that abstract a lot of that basic game setup. And even with the recent development of AI coding assistants, that has made actually writing code much faster. On the art side, software like GIMP, Blender, and Aesprite really helps artists scale their output, no matter if it's 2D or 3D. And even game asset marketplaces like itch.io allow artists to sell pre-made assets to game developers who are ready to get started immediately. And on the game design side, there's tons of books, courses, and YouTube videos released every year about popular and important game patterns. So at this point, you might be asking, hey, Michael, you just said all these problems are solved, then what company are you making and why are you making this video? Let me set the scene. You just completed your first playthrough of Stardew Valley and heard it was made by one guy, and you think to yourself, well, hey, one guy made this. I'm sure I could make a smaller game, at least pretty quickly. You download Unity and you start learning game programming. You start reading game design books to understand why games work the way they do. And you're getting better. You're feeling more confident. You asked a girl in your intro to computer science class if she'd want to help you out with the art because you saw her drawing in her notebook. She says yes. You get excited because although you didn't have a crush on her to begin with, you feel like you might. Late nights, more coffee. You start to develop main character syndrome, but you're getting better. The game is more fun and almost done. Then comes release day. You're already envisioning the articles that are going to be written about you, the streamers that are going to play your game, the endless YouTube feed that will follow. You spent so much time developing the game. It can only succeed, right? But then it hits you, and you see those early numbers. 1 copy sold, 3 copies sold, and after a week, 20 copies sold. Was that it? You tell yourself that the money doesn't matter, that you built and released a game. And that's true, but something inside you is saying otherwise. That girl from computer science class is feeling more distant, but you convince yourself you're overthinking it. Such a short time ago, you felt like you had everything figured out. So you return to your roots. You boot up Stardew Valley again, and think to yourself, what went wrong? So the problem I'm trying to tackle is indie game marketing. No joke, every day I see posts from indie game developers talking about spending hundreds and thousands of hours building and designing their games. No time marketing, and only selling like 5 copies. But also marketing is such a broad term that it can often feel extremely intimidating to start while building your game. So my goal was to build a platform to make this as easy as possible. So let me introduce devlog.tv. I thought it was a pretty good domain. Right now it's a relatively simple service, but you can quickly sign in and you can claim your unique devlog.tv domain. So for example, my game is devlog.tv/Castlemancer. Now the first step is to set up your indie game page, and I tried to make this as easy as possible. And I actually styled it off common pitch decks game developers would show to a game publisher, but I tried to condense it into a one-page site. I also added a bunch of customization options so that you can make the page truly match your game's theme. Not only is it easy to set up, but it's also SEO optimized to your specific game's title to help with organic search generation. You can also track useful metrics like overall page views and clicks to your game store page. And I also want to make it clear that no way am I trying to compete with the marketplaces like Steam or itch.io. That would be idiotic. On devlog.tv, you're not collecting or distributing your game, but you are trying to prove why people should buy it, regardless of where they buy it. So it includes sections like gameplay trailer, unique selling points, similar games, art style and inspiration, and much more. Visitors to your page can also add suggestions on how to improve the game if you want to allow that. And these microsites are just one part of the solution. Obviously, a GIMP website is not going to solve all of the marketing problems for indie game developers, but ultimately it's something. My philosophy is that game developers spend enough time making games, they shouldn't be spending time on setting up websites and marketing it. So I'm trying to streamline all of that. There's also a leaderboard for trending games. So right now, the leaderboard is literally just 2 of my games to test, so Castlemancer and Just Trees, and then also a random game that somebody added called Pixel Zombies. So if you sign up now, it should be relatively easy competition to rank on this leaderboard. In addition to the microsites, I have literally manually selected useful articles from indie game developers about what they did and their results, so you can see actual qualitative data about marketing all in one location, as well as a checklist for various marketing plans. Now, I have a lot more planned on the roadmap, including attaching custom domains, auto-aggregating feedback, aggregating game data all in one place, and a bunch of other stuff. And the beautiful thing is that right now, it's totally free. Now, I don't know how long it'll stay that way based on the cloud infrastructure costs, but right now, if you sign up, you'll be able to create and manage your indie game page for free. There's also a feedback and bug submission form, so if you have any suggestions for new features or problems you run into, you can submit it there on the site. You can also email me directly at michael@devlog.tv. Whoa, cut to face cam. Thank you all for watching. Please do go sign up for devlog.tv. Let me know if you find any bugs or if you have ideas for new features that might help that indie dev marketing community. Also, if you're into roguelike deck builders, consider wishlisting my game Castlemancer over on Steam. That's all from me. We do a Bob British accent at the end of every video. And hopefully, I see you in another one. Bye-bye.